and close things out with a little bit of European football talk with Simon.
Yes.
And for the listeners, Elliot, if you have any sort of European football questions, we have the big whiz
Throw it in.
doing the producing today, which is Simon. We'll
Yeah.
bring
So
on
I want to
camera
ask
here.
about a couple of things. Mikey Dobbs is going to get the camera on our big European football correspondent, Simon Katz. So we want to talk a little bit about Premier League and the end of the season. Who's going to be relegated? Who's going in Champions League spot, etc. Who's going to win the title? And a little bit about Champions League football. So which do you want to start with, Champions League or Premier League?
Let's start with the Prem.
Okay, the Prem. So right from the top, we'll give you the easy, so obviously Arsenal is still technically in the lead. Manchester City has 2 games in hand. They've got the big game this weekend. How do you see this weekend going, and how do you see the title going?
Well, I think this weekend ends in a tie, even though I know that it's at the Etihad, which is City's home ground.
Yeah.
But I think that Arsenal's gonna be too fired up for that game, and I think they're a good enough team to not get overrun.
I'll
Away
take
like
that bet, by the way. I think there's
Didn't I
no chance there's a
didn't
tie.
I bet you that they would win?
You bet me that Arsenal's going to win, which is a terrible bet.
That's a no.
Even though I'm a Wolves fan, I used to be, prior to being a Wolves fan, which by the way is like 25 years ago, as an Arsenal fan. So I still have a lot of Arsenal gear.
So here's the thing, as we were talking about a little bit last week, right? So Arsenal doesn't know how to park the bus. And if you go into the Etihad and you try to play with them, there's just no way, right? I mean, there's absolutely no way to play with them.
That's why my bet is, like always, it's not using logic, right? Like you're using logic, which makes all the sense in the world.
Watching the game.
But I think sometimes the energy and just the feel you have to have, this is Arsenal's last punching chance to, from what by all accounts is a great season.
Yeah, but that makes it worse. That makes it worse because they're just going to be fired up, as Simon was saying. They're going to go after it. You cannot go into the Etihad and go after them because all you do is open up space. And if you want to go toe-to-toe to Manchester City, you're going to lose. They are a better team than anybody in the whole world. Maybe Real Madrid, is going to play against them, but I don't think Real Madrid can hang. Now, Real Madrid could beat Man City because they're not stupid enough. Ancelotti is not stupid enough to go toe-to-toe with them. He's never going to go at a wide open game. The only chance to beat them on the road is to sit back, absorb the pressure, and try to hit them on the counter. Now, I would be surprised if Arsenal does that. I think they have a fighter's chance. I think they will ultimately succumb too, because it's just not, they haven't done it all year. So if you're Arteta, you're screwed. Because if you go toe-to-toe with them, you're getting killed. If you sit back, you might hang in there for a while and you might catch them. You could even tie or beat them, right? But they're not really ready to play that. So I think they lose that anyway, just because they just can't do that.
Yeah, but I agree. I think they can't go over their skis here right from the get-go. They've got to play snatch and grab football, right?
I think you got to sit back and punch, snatch and grab.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. And they have a team that they have the attacking talent to do that. I really don't think they have a back four to sit back and absorb pressure. They're just not good enough.
So Simon, what else is happening in Europe right now that's exciting in terms of the promotion relegation stuff that you've been tuning into?
Well, let's keep going down the Prem. So what about Manchester, Tottenham? Who's going to win that game, and who's the top 4? Who gets the last Champions League spot?
Well, so first I want to put a little fun fact out there.
Okay.
So City actually have not lost at home in the past 5 years in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
I like it.
So you're saying my bet wasn't a good one.
Was a dumb one.
I mean,
you're saying statistics matter.
Statistically unlikely. And so you were wondering about relegation.
No, I want to know, first of all, who's going to win a Champions League spot. So who's going to win? Manchester is playing away at Tottenham. Tottenham only has they have to win that game. If they don't win if Manchester United beats them, it's over. But even if they do win that game, it might be over. So who do you think is who's getting the 4 spots?
Well, so I see it's going to be City, Arsenal, United, and and Newcastle are going to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, you don't think the Tottenham can come back?
No
They
way.
sure don't look to be playing with much confidence.
They got annihilated at Newcastle.
I turned on the game. I got my cup of coffee. I was like, oh, it's only 9 minutes. Like I literally was like, oh, I of course couldn't miss anything in the game that was Sunday morning that game was happening. And I went out there to like turn on the game on the deck, and I was like, oh, this must be like a dated game, because it was like 3-0. I was like, I must have tuned into like something on YouTube.
Yeah, you
did
picked
something
the wrong.
and I was like, no. I was like, it actually is 3-0.
It is actually
in
in the first.
So,
they scored 5 goals in the first 16 or 20 minutes.
21 minutes.
Yeah.
See, our European football correspondent.
And our boy Almiron came on after being injured for a while.
Yeah.
Had an assist, didn't he? Is that right?
He played the ball, but it bounced off the defender, so I'm not sure if they credit him with that. So
amazing. This is how he knows. Like you said, he even knows that was declined as an actual assist on the books, but he was involved in the play, which is great.
All right. What do you think about the relegation battle?
Well, so I think Southampton's their season's done. They're going down for sure. It's pretty close at the bottom. I would say it's probably going to be Southampton, Bournemouth, and my last would I. It's close.
Who are the other teams in contention? You tell us.
Well,
those are not really following it.
It's Leeds is in there.
Leeds for sure.
Everton's in there. West Ham's in there. Wolverhampton's in there.
They just need one more. They kind of need like one more point. Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton's on the leading side.
The leading.
What about our Leeds? Are they going to the Americans? Are they going to survive? Weston McKennie? Do they live to Tyler Adams? Did they live to see another Premier League campaign?
I don't know. I thought they were for a while there, but I don't know.
I think they have a good enough team to stay up. That's what I would say about West Ham, is that their team's good enough for some moments of individual brilliance.
Do you know who has the most difficult run in? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I would say that West Ham and Wolves have the better teams in quality to stay up than Leeds right now, they're losing a bunch of games right now. And so while I agree they have talent, the confidence that Leeds has is right now. So I agree they got talent, but West Ham and Wolves seem like more stable clubs, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
And there's also Leicester's in there too.
Oh, Leicester. After firing Rodgers after all that.
Oof.
Yeah. Brendan Rodgers sacked again.
Yeah, I think it's gonna kind of shake out to where it is right now.
But I think it's gonna be Southampton, Bournemouth, and Everton are going down this season.
Everton. Wow.
You don't know your statistics then. When's the last time Everton went down?
They've never been relegated.
That sounds like the Etihad.
Wow,
thing. Yeah.
they're calling them going down. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I like it. Bold prediction.
So now I'm going to test your knowledge, Simon, on the other end of the spectrum. Who's going up? Did you watch the game today? Did you watch any of the highlights of?
One of it's already.
Well, so Burnley's already automatically.
Burnley's already up.
Yeah.
So.
And the second one is already up, or they can clinch today.
So the third and fourth place teams played this afternoon at 3:00. I watched it on ESPN Plus, which is. One of the teams, the goalkeeper is Zach Steffen at Middlesbrough.
So one of them played in the semifinals of the FA Cup, Simon, against Manchester City.
Yeah,
which
got hammered.
I don't know if they got hammered.
Well, it was 3-0, but it should have been 5 at least.
Who was that?
That was Sheffield United.
Sheffield, and there I think are the other ones going up. Yeah,
they're in
Sheffield's definitely second. They're second place, and Burnley's first.
Yes.
Okay. Luton Town is in third.
Luton Town.
Yeah.
Have they been up?
And Middlesbrough is in fourth. Luton Town won today 2-1.
Middlesbrough is a big club.
Middlesbrough
against Middlesbrough is in fourth place.
Middlesbrough.
I had Middlesbrough going up.
Yeah,
because they score a lot of goals.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate. It was tied 1-1, I believe, today, and Zach Steffen came out to stop a guy who's like charging into the box, slid. And just barely, like as the player was like playing out way wide, like hit him, and you had to call it a penalty kick. But you also have to say it was the right move for Steffen to come out and challenge it. So tough one, and then dives the wrong direction, and the guy just puts it in the opposite corner.
Oops.
2-1, Luton Town.
Yikes.
So that I think gives Luton Town a pretty good chance, and I think Middlesbrough also plays like the 5th place team next, so they don't have an easy match in the next game, and then they play like one of the bottom teams as their last match.
Okay, so now FA Cup, Derby. What you think?
Well, I want a little backtrack here.
Okay.
I have another fun fact.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure that Luton Town actually has, in order to meet the requirements for Premier League stadiums, they would have to invest $10 million into
To
their
upgrade the stadium.
to upgrade their
You have to
stadium.
have a certain capacity stadium. That is correct.
But that's chump change, right?
But I
Because
think you have like
they
a
make so much money by going.
yeah,
into the
and you
Premier
have
League,
like
right?
a 2-year grace period or something, and like they don't be like, oh, you got to have the stadium tomorrow. Like I think they do have a grace period. Maybe we should look into that.
Yeah. And so, FA Cup final, huge game, Manchester Derby at Wembley. Well, I have City winning.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I'm a United fan. But with both our center backs out right now, and we're just City have so much momentum. They've won like 5 out of the past 5 games they've played.
But here's the thing. So 2 things. One, you guys can take the wager. I'm going to argue. I'm not saying Manchester United is going to win, but I will say that game is going to be closer than the Arsenal match, right? Because Ten Hag has learned his lesson and he is never going to go up and down with Manchester City. He's going to park the bus and try to counter. And they have struggled against that. Now I think without Lisandro Martinez, who's out for the year, that's a struggle, right?
Erling Haaland's going to score a hat trick in this game. Is what's going to happen?
No. No.
I would predict probably Bernardo Silva to score, and I would probably predict maybe a 2-1.
But they have a lot of games. The final's not for a little while, right? They have a lot of games in between that. There's a lot of madness. So that goes to the heart of, can City win the treble?
I want to say yes, but the treble is so hard to win.
So hard to win.
There's so many games played that
Yeah,
realistically, I don't see City winning the treble.
I do. When you have an Erling Haaland on your team, anything's possible.
I think they win the title for sure. I don't see Arsenal. I think Arsenal's in collapse mode. And I think if they get through, then I think they beat either. Well, let's go. What do you think about the Champions League last 4 first? Tell us who's in the Champions League last 4.
So it's actually a Milan derby on one side.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Last year before the San Siro gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So that's pretty.
And they both play in the San Siro. Do you know this?
Yes.
So it's a derby in the same stadium.
Yep. And they the other side you have Man City versus Real Madrid.
Right.
2 of the most successful clubs in the world
right.
this year. They were both super good.
So who wins on either side?
So I think on one side of the bracket, I think AC Milan is going to beat Inter Milan.
Okay.
And on the other side of the bracket, I want to say City. I think City is a better team, but realistically, I'm going to go with Madrid since they don't really have anything to play for in their league, and they're just going to be trying to full out send.
So where is Real Madrid in the league?
They're second place.
Second, but they're too far. They're never going to catch Barcelona.
They're like 12 points behind, 11 points behind.
So evidently Messi landed in Barcelona today with lots of luggage. Like an absorbent amount of luggage, which might just be him moving his like winter clothes back to Barcelona.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Simon, what do you think of the rumors of him going back to Barcelona? True, hype, false? What's your gut telling you right now on, will we see a reappearance of Messi, who's going to completely change what's been instilled the last 2 years from coaching, if he does come back, right? Everything that's been put in place the last 2 years has to be erased. We're going to figure it out with Messi, who's 36.
My opinion, it's not a good signing. I mean, clearly Xavi wants him. He's the coach. He wants to, reunite with his
Yeah,
old
because they're
teammate.
best friends.
All the fans
I
want him
don't think
back
Xavi doesn't want him. Why would he want him?
Because they're best
because they're
friends.
friends.
That the friendship is for life, dude. If you're coaching a team, Dave, that is completely just broken up by what your philosophy is with everything you built the last 2 years, would you want your buddy coming in?
Are you asking me whether I have you on my team? No. Too many red cards.
Correct. But at some age, right, when you get old and bitter, right, you're like, I can't reshape. I can't reshape my team around Mikey Dobbs. I think that's actually a good analogy. Like when I'm like 26, maybe you do want to, yeah, bring me over, but no,
Okay.
not now.
So Simon, if Messi is a bad signing, right? Maybe you can put the camera on you for a second. Tell us a little bit about who are the good players that you like around Europe. Who would be a good signing?
Like any team.
Yeah, if you're gonna go out and get, well, I was gonna say attacking player, but it doesn't even matter. Who do you like? Who are the players you like?
Well, Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, okay. And who does he play for?
Napoli.
Yep.
He is.
You think he's gonna stay? I mean, they've been a Champions League team.
No.
No, and
No.
Is Napoli gonna win the title?
Oh yeah, they're like 13 points clear right now.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and also however you pronounce his name, Kvaratskhelia.
Who does he play for?
He plays for Napoli as well,
right.
and so I think Kvaratskhelia.
So you are surprised that Napoli lost to Milan?
Oh yeah, I had Napoli in my final against Madrid. That was my prediction, but
fair.
And I thought Napoli got a little unlucky. They didn't have Osimhen in the first leg, and that hurt them a lot. I'm not, yeah.
So Simon, another random European football question. Who's this? I think he's in Ligue 1. He's a US. He's got 3 citizenships. He's English, US, and I think some other African nation. He's rumored to maybe be a striker that the US men's national team could lure into committing. He's I think right behind Mbappe maybe in terms of goals in Ligue 1. Who's this cat?
So Florence Balogun, he was he has like dual or triple citizenship as you said, and the US has been like a lot of the fans have been speculating that he's gonna like join the US since he's eligible to, and they already have Harry Kane and all those other guys over there, and he has like 18 goals right now in Ligue 1, and he's been tearing it up. He's on loan from Arsenal, so Arsenal will get him back at the end of the season.
Yeah, and in this last friendly window, they called him up only to the younger reserve team, which I don't know.
He showed up in training for the U.S. national team in Florida
because I think it sounds like he was a little disrespected by the English team, which was not going to give him a chance in the senior team. They put him in.
But he shows up for training in the U.S., which is clearly a message to England, but he didn't play. Yeah. So that's clearly a message, put up or shut up. So if England now offers him a cap, do you think he takes the England spot, or he really is legit about the U.S.? Or that was just a tactic to get England interested?
I mean, if I were him, I would 100% take the U.S. You can be like, like the greatest striker in the history of the U.S. You can, you would be like an automatic.
You play at home. U.S. is playing in the next World Cup at home.
He knows how to score goals, clearly.
And we have a very, very good young team. England does too, but we have a very good young team at home. I'm going to say that another 3 times. At home.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would take the USA, but I am a USA fan.
Anybody else we should be looking at in Europe? Or anything else you would like to tell us as the European correspondent, things that our listeners should know?
Are there any young players that are kind of off the radar that are U.S. players that are starting to make a mark, like a Gio Reyna that, have yet to get the buzz, but might be up and coming talents that are in the Bundesliga or some of these other European clubs?
USA players. I mean, Weston McKennie, I mean, obviously he's like a big name for the US, but he has not been doing that well at Leeds. which has been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, he's trying to overdo it. It's a classic. You get in there trying to overprove yourself type of thing. I think what he's doing at Leeds.
And is Tyler Adams back playing yet? Or is he still injured?
He's still injured. I haven't seen him in any games. He wasn't in the last game.
That hurts.
They got
he's the
beat
best
up on.
player at Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have well, so Bundesliga, big title race is going on right now.
Right.
Bayern Munich is actually not in first place for like the
Shucks.
first time.
So what do you think of
ever.
Thomas Tuchel's coaching then?
And should they have sacked Nagelsmann?
It was a horrible signing. I mean, there's Nagelsmann was like, I mean, he had like a stellar record mid-season. They were in the Champions League. They were about to play City, and then he just gets like randomly sacked, and they hired Tuchel.
Yeah, they're in the quarterfinals, and they were still in first place.
Oh,
And Tuchel loses both games against Manchester City.
Yeah, I got crushed.
Right.